is up, everybody? Welcome to another fresh take. Trey Vito, how you doing, man?
Man, I'm good, man. How you doing?
I am making it. I am making it. So, I don't know if you guys had a chance to see this. If you're looking at the screen, we're on Disney Plus. There is a anthology series that came out on when it was Wednesday, I think it was,
Yeah,
ca-
Wednesday.
called Kizazi Moto Generation Fire, and this is 10 shorts from Africa with African studios behind it, and kind of like the Star Wars Vision series, kind of like that. What I will say about this one though is all of the episodes are 15 minutes, or there's a couple of them that are 16, but they're all 15 minutes, so they're consistent across the board. And it's 10 of them. So what we're gonna do, just like we did with the Visions Volume 2 review, we're gonna take this episode by episode, and that's the reason why I got the share page up. I would show y'all the trailer, but man, some of these places been tripping lately with these live reactions.
Oh yeah. Last
I'm
night, man,
like,
we
bro,
went through it too, man. We went through it last night, me and Sandstorm. It cut our feet.
yeah, like,
And we
bro.
didn't
But then
we didn't get it.
they'll turn
Mhm.
around, and then a day later, oh, our bad.
Right. After it's all said and done, like, oh my gosh, bro. We was live.
Yes. Like, dude, okay, whatever, man. They know people do live reactions. I don't understand that, but that's neither you know that that's a whole another hour of podcast review. But so let's get into this first one. This first episode is called Herder Boy.
Mhm.
Now this one is a little bit weird. I like the animation on this one, but I didn't realize everybody was a cyborg
Right.
until a little bit into the episode,
Right.
which kind of threw me off a little bit. But I liked the futuristic look of it, and I liked what they were talking about as far as like herder culture and stuff like that. The the main character is funny because
Right.
he trying his best to like be like his heroes, the three herders that are there.
Hmm.
And bruh, I started laughing because apparently the captain is his sister, and that pet name came out, and you know they had the clown.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And that part in and of itself was funny. I did like the other dude that was with, I forgot his name, but he looked like your uncle with the Crown Royal bag.
Oh, the big dude, the bigger
Yeah,
dude.
that's
Yeah, he sure
lying
did.
about how good he is. Like,
Yeah.
when he first opened his mouth, I'm like, this dude lying. This dude is lying. He
Right.
lying. Got the cat daddy hat on and everything.
Yeah. Smooth with it.
Yeah. So I actually like this one. I actually thought was interesting. I like the art style. I liked the CG on the CG was clean on it.
Mhm.
Because there's one episode we're going to get to a little bit later. That's straight up Clone Wars. This ain't. I
Right.
know when you look at it via the trailer, kind of looks like Clone Wars ish. This ain't
Mhm.
it. There's another one that pretty much is what they were going for.
Yeah.
But this one isn't. So what did you think about this first episode?
Yeah, it was a good introduction episode, just starting us off light. You don't have to put too much backstory and lore into it. Just, some the hurting life, like you said, or whatever like that. So I mean, it just kind of it was a good introduction to this whole, like, just setting the tone. You know what I mean? I really love the visuals as well. You know what I mean? Like, especially like when the evil came around and stuff, that red kind of definitely stood out. And then this the herder boys, his little color, that green, it just kind of brought me back to a Star Wars. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mm.
a Luke Skywalker going against Darth Vader with the red and green. You know what I mean? So it just kind of it had a nice little feel to it, nice little message. You know what I mean? So it's
I
kind of
did
good.
like the color scheme too. The color scheme,
Yeah.
the blue, green, and red did play off each other really well. The way they used
Mhm.
it,
Yeah.
the way they used
Definitely.
it, and the ending was a little bit unsurprised because I thought they was going to do something else, and I was like, okay, this actually makes sense.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
actually makes sense. Now the spirit beast they did make look like a hyena crossed with a hollow from Bleach, but
Right.
I can rock with it. I can rock with it.
Right.
But
Yeah.
this one, yeah, I actually like this one. This one was actually pretty good. Herder Boy is actually pretty good. Had a nice little balance of comedy with the, with the action and with the overall plot. I thought they did a good job on this one. Now, the second episode, Mikuzi, the Spirit Racer.
Woo.
This one was interesting.
Yeah, yeah.
It was really interesting. I did like some of the comedic stuff that they did with it, like the police officer just like coming into the frame with his. I
Right.
thought that was funny
Yeah, yeah.
because he kept coming in the frame. It's like you would see his like thought bubble or whatever come in. They had to kick his face off to get him off the screen. I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah, yeah.
But it kind of gave me those what was that show? Wacky Racers
Okay.
from
Okay.
back in the day, like
Yeah.
early Hanna-Barbera stuff. The whole thing about this episode is you have a basically evil racer X.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah, who got beat one time and can't let it go. Like,
Right.
bro, you a trillionaire.
Yeah.
Let it go, man.
Right. Right.
So he basically, to force the racer that beat him to race against him, he buys up the entire neighborhood and basically say, "I'm gonna turn it into a parking lot." I'm like, bro, really? I'm paraphrasing here, but y'all get the idea. So now this one actually deals with heritage and ancestry in a way that I wasn't expecting. Because now what I just said, you think this ain't got nothing to do with that? Trust me, they made it work. In 16 minutes, they made it work.
Yeah.
And I did not think they were going to do that. The animation style reminds me of some stuff from like Studio Trigger.
Okay. Yeah.
If you know who that is, they did like Gurren Lagann and what's the other big one they did? They were heavy in the Star Wars Visions Volume 1 and 2. But it kind of reminds me of that. I love the art style, the pacing of the episode doesn't drag at all. And I love the way when Mikuzi goes and meets his ancestors. I love the way that whole sequence plays out. It plays out in a really fun and interesting way, man. What did you think about this one?
Yeah. Same thing. Just how they tied in that ancestry. You know what I mean? And within like a few minutes. You know what I'm saying? That like when he went to go see his ancestors, and it had that plot twist that he's actually half demon. It kind of gave us like a little taste of like what African culture kind of goes, like what their beliefs are and things of that nature. Stuff that I've been taught, as a kid and stuff. Like I think his other side of his ancestry was like Zozo or something like that.
Yeah.
So that if you know anything about African culture or even Haitian culture, you know what I mean. Zozo is a is a figure that they talk about a lot, but it kind of just brought this whole little like ancestral, like I don't know, it just gave you that feel of I, I will have to say it, even though I didn't want to say it, but to relate to people that may not know, but like Black Panther, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Black Panther gives you that ancestral situation, and just to play it into the power and what he was like doing, and how he has to fully embrace all of his ancestry to, what I'm saying, like that. The story was deep, and just the animation was crazy. Like you said, the uh, the villain dude, he was a trip, man.
He was wilding. He was
Yeah.
wild. Cause I'm sorry, man. I gotta bring this up. This dude showed like at the end of the day ago episode. So it winds up being a tie. I'll go on the spoil that for you. It winds up being a tie. Cause and the reason why it looks weird is because Buddy lose all his clothes.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Why this dude in a black coat? I'm sitting here like, what the? And then makes clothes disappear out of nowhere. I'm like,
yeah.
you know what, bro? You could have just did that 5 minutes ago.
Right.
Like,
Exactly. You know what I liked about that?
what?
how basically in the middle of the race they both turned into like their vehicles turned into mechs and they started
Yeah,
like fighting. Like that was crazy. I was like, wait a minute, aren't y'all racing? How are y'all like
but
fighting and racing at the same time?
like the lines that he was saying was dope though, because he was like, "Are you ready to meet your ancestors?" But turn around like, "I already have." I'm
I
like, "Oh
did.
snap!" I'm like, "Dude, this is like that whole last what was it 3 minutes?"
Yeah.
I want to say it's like the last 3 minutes because
Mhm.
he goes and meets his ancestors. That whole sequence plays out, which is actually very well done, and
Mhm.
especially the whole embracing both sides of who he is. That part, and for him to come out and then they have that mech fight, which is like it ain't but like what 30 seconds maybe.
Yeah. Yeah.
It ain't long, but it's like, bruh, it takes the fight in a whole different way, in the race in a whole different way. So when you get to the end, you don't know who's gonna win. You think it's gonna be a flat out win-win. I'm like, dude, I liked how they did that.
Hmm.
I
Yeah.
just liked how they did that. And yes, that villain was he was wilding, man. That dude was wild. I'm like, especially his goon squad, like the lady trying to pick up her groceries off the ground.
Right. Oh man, that was crazy. They
I'm
kept smashing
like,
all the. Oh man, I
I
was
was
like,
like,
really?
bro, what the? That lady ain't do that to you, dog. So yeah, the funny moments in that one comes from the villain and the cop. Because the cop is
Yeah.
funny too. The cop is just
Yeah.
hilarious. That dude just
Right.
they did that poor cop wrong. But yeah,
Mm.
I like that one. That one is probably one of my favorite ones, just because I like how they did it,
Mhm.
how
Yeah.
they did the animation. That one actually worked out. Now this next one,
Mhm.
Morimi. What did you think about this one?
No, no, it was.
It was weird.
That's all. Yeah, that's I. I'm speechless on it. To be honest, you know what's crazy? I thought I had something for it because I was looking at it. I was like, yeah, I got something for it. Then I'm like, now thinking of it, I'm like, I, what was he? Well, like I know
that's
he was the boy, but was he an avatar? Like,
that's why I wanted to ask you first,
yeah,
because I had to watch this one twice.
mm,
Morimi I had to watch twice, and
yeah,
it's so you see this child here that
yeah,
in the screen.
mm,
It's kind of like an avatar situation, but the the lady who caused the whole situation to jump off,
mm,
her son is in an actual encasement. That's he's not dead, but his spirit ain't in his body,
mm,
and what they're fighting against is an extra dimensional being that when it doesn't kill you, but
mm.
it basically sucks your soul out and encases you in what they are, kind of.
Gotcha. Yeah,
So the character designs in here is beautiful. By the way,
yeah,
I
yeah,
thought it was beautiful, but this one is the kind of the more I wouldn't want to say confusing,
mm,
but I did have to watch this one twice just because I was like, okay, am I missing something? And at the end of the episode, they make you think that when she did what she did to create the barriers to keep her people safe,
mm.
she wasn't expecting it to take her son's soul.
Right.
But
Yeah,
the guys took the soul and put it in that shell or whatever.
yeah.
So yeah, that this one is, uh, yeah, yeah. This is one of those.
Yeah, yeah, it definitely had me like, it's like I understood it, but at the same time, it, okay, so I mean, it is the visuals are beautiful, but like just seeing the boy, he automatically looks dead to me. Like
Yeah,
he looks like a zombie or something, and I'm trying to figure out what's going on, and then they tell, she tells a story in the boat, about what she did and what happened, and then I see the boy and I'm like, okay, this must be some kind of avatar situation, but then I started thinking about the story, then I was like, okay, this is kind of confusing, but I get it, but
yeah,
it's confusing, it's like it'll be hard to explain, you know
yeah.
what I mean, like it's, but to me it was a good episode, it was something that had you thinking about like some real
And it
deep,
makes you think about choices because
exactly, yeah,
yeah, because And this is one of those. This episode in particular is one of those impossible choice type situations.
Mm-hmm.
Because I understand why she made the choice she made. I also understand why she regretted it when she finally did what she did, and it was like, we tried to tell you not to do this.
All right.
And so I get, like, I understand it.
Yeah.
So it was just one of those ones I did have to watch this one twice because I was like, I am so, did I miss something? So yeah.
So now that we're 2 episodes in, I have to actually kind of bring this up. So we compare it to Visions,
Mhm.
but can't we actually compare it to Black Mirror and what's that Love Robot and whatever that?
And the one on Netflix, yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Now this episode, Marimi, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Because that, like I said, that was really on some Black Mirror stuff.
Yeah.
That
Right.
was. And there's another one in
Right.
here that's on that too.
Yeah.
Um
Definitely.
yeah, but I would say, like, overall it's kind of a mix of those.
Hmm.
The only reason I would say it's more on the Vision side because there is a very big anime influence in all these episodes.
Right.
Like, it's all you can tell, and of course the Proud Family episode that we're gonna get to in a minute.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree with you on that. Yeah, I would probably say more Black Mirror than opposed to that Love, Death, and Robots or whatever. I would say probably more Black Mirror because there's another one in here that's like that. Now, if it wasn't for Marimi, I probably wouldn't be saying that. But
Right.
because of this episode, because this episode really does remind me of like a Black Mirror-ish type episode where they mess with your head a little bit.
Yeah.
Now, we up to episode 4. Now, this one, all right, I was telling Trey before we started, I'm like, okay, in the words of the great 90s, 80s, and 90s era hip hop artist Tone Loc, brothers don't surf. So that's what I got when I first saw this one. I'm like, okay, what? Okay, whatever. Now, this one actually is not bad. It's not bad. The character models they take a different look with the character models, but it works when the surfing starts and when the villainous characters come on, because
Man.
were they supposed to be high?
Yeah, I believe there's really like there's this effect from like octopuses where you can get like high off of something. They're full
Okay,
like that. So I think it is. You know what I mean?
okay, because I'm like, they didn't explain why they were doing that. I just
I thought it was taking over their brains at first.
yeah, but it wasn't.
Right.
So
So man,
okay,
yeah.
yeah, we ain't gonna touch that. But when you see it, you're gonna know what we're talking about because it's gonna be like, because they do that just twice in the episode. We like, am I the only one here that think that there ain't no way in the world I'm putting that on nowhere near my face?
Right.
So
Like, and then it confused me too. Like, you know, uh, those same octopus, they kill as well. So
yeah,
it's kind of
so
like,
and they make sure you see that in the first 2 minutes of the episode.
right,
Like, they straight up kill a woman.
right. That
Uh,
is, it's hard to explain.
yeah. So, but this one, now this one actually deals with a little bit of like grief and loss,
Mhm.
and uh purpose a little bit
Yeah,
because the main character, it, it's what his purpose is to surf. That's his
right.
purpose. Like, that's his talent, that's his gift. But because of the incident that happened at the first beginning of the episode, where his I think that was his grandmother.
Yeah. I'll
Um,
assume it is. Yeah.
yeah, she dies in a surfing accident, saving him,
Mm.
and he was just like, I ain't touching it. So basically, at the amusement park that he works at, he's basically like just mascot, basically, because everybody
Yeah,
knows that family.
yeah,
Um, and him and his best friend trying to get him to go back and start back doing it, but he ain't doing it. His best friend ain't good at it,
right,
but
right.
they cool. They boys no matter what.
Yeah,
But he meets up with this crew, and like that's when get introduced to the villains. Now, normally, I'm all for villain shenanigans, But can I just say this? If you're a villain, get a good dental plan because gingivitis is the number one cause of all tooth decay. I don't understand why these people can't get their daggone mouth fixed.
Right.
It's disturbing. And then they focused on the teeth like 4
Yeah, they
times.
go deep, like
I'm
deep
like,
into it. Like, oh, what is
bruh.
wrong with you? Hey, I blame it on the drugs, the octopus
Yeah.
drugs.
I'm like, man, keep the camera off their teeth. This is not cool.
Right.
But I like this episode I did like when it got to the surfing, I liked it.
Right.
When it got to that part, and because they do a beautiful sequence where he's gone under and you think he's about to die, and they do the whole ancestral plane thing. I will say this about this series: there are like 4 or 5 times in these in the whole of the thing where they do a different take on the ancestral plane. I like that. I like the way they do that. Like, I like how they show the ancestral plane being like different for the different countries of Africa that they're taking their story from and basing it on the culture of. But this one is, and there's so the surfing sequence at the end where the main action takes place, that is a beautifully shot sequence because you are terrified and enlightened at the same time. Because I'm guessing the city got flooded out. And so the action sequence is you're surfing a giant colossal wave through basically a death trap. That's the city.
Lake Lanier.
Lanier. Essentially. with a city up under it. So yeah, if for anything else, watch it for that sequence, that last 5 minutes. Because that thing is like beautifully shot. But what did you think about this one?
Man, his homeboy was getting towed up. That villain was like, this give it.
I'm talking about beating the brakes off him. Like, I'm like, bro, it's called blocking, dude. Dude, you got your arms free.
Man, that thing, I kept looking at that. I had her keep rewinding. I'm like, oh, come on,
I'm talking. She hit him with the Floyd Mayweather combos.
They ain't do nothing. Like, that's what's crazy. That's, man, but it did give me a different take on like ocean life. Like when you think of ocean life, you always think about or surfing and stuff. You always think about Hawaii and Samoans and things of that nature. So to see an African tribe or African people also do this, because that's one thing that we are led to kind of believe over here is that we don't like the water, when actuality is
not true.
You see them like up on the water before they get on land. Like there's a whole city, like I forgot what document this was. I think it was like some kind of like it's on Netflix. It's like they go through like all the African foods and they're in Africa. Well, they go through a actual town that was like in the swamp, like the actual water, and all the houses are built over this swamp and stuff. So it's like, okay, if we scared of water, why are we living in actual water? You know what I'm saying? Like a city, surrounded in water, a village surrounded in water. So I'm like, yeah, nah, that's that. So that definitely gave me like more of encouragement, and like it confirmed to me that Africa still needs to be explored for even us, as blacks. So you know what I mean? So, but it was definitely good. I thought it was gonna be more rocket power-ish, but you know what I'm saying? But it definitely was good, and definitely had, like I said, man, that friend was getting towed up, and I was like, oh my gosh, like, are you gonna save him? Is he gonna get sucked up by that big old cliffhanger? Oh yeah, that had a cliffhanger at the end of that.
Yeah.
That big old giant Kraken.
I don't know what that was. All I know was it was down there, and I feel for anybody that got drugged down there because they weren't coming back up.
For real. No, ain't no coming back.
No, I see why your grandma died. It didn't have nothing to do with the little ones. Oh, oh man, that was the Kraken with Cthulhu mixed with him. I'm like, jeez, dude. That thing was that cliffhanger was kind of interesting when they actually did the whole watch camera pan over the ocean floor. That
Yeah,
was
yeah.
because the way they made the octopi look was that they had highlighted with green,
Yep,
which
yep.
was an interesting choice.
Yeah,
But when you put the green with the murkiness of the water, it made it pop.
perfect.
Yeah.
Yep.
So when you see that thing at the end, you're like, oh, I see why she died.
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yep, yep. And
yeah,
then just that city, a whole city was underneath there. That was crazy. I was
yeah.
like, oh no, it's not just a few buildings. It's
The
this
whole,
they
yeah,
whole whole thing. That's New Orleans.
yeah, basically. Because I'm saying like the last 5 minutes of the episode where the where they're chasing him and he's trying to get to his friend and he has to navigate through them buildings while
Yeah,
navigating the wave at the same
yeah,
time. I'm like, dude, this is wild.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
they did a real good job with that. So
yeah.
don't ever
Very
let
good
people
action.
tell you that live action is the only way to go to feel something in a story. That's BS.
Yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
So Surf Sangoma, that it was actually going back thinking about it now. It's actually not especially like that last part, the last like
Yeah,
10 minutes. Yeah.
right.
Now this next one, I hope you guys like the Proud Family because you about to get that
Oh man.
first totem problems.
Hmm.
So basically, in this one, you have a teenager. In this world, you got to get your totem palm, your palm thing, a totem put on your palm. That's how you ascend to be an adult, essentially. You get
Right.
to go places by yourself and all that other good stuff. Now, the way you do this is your ancestors are supposed to not fight over you, but one of them is supposed to put your paperwork in.
Right.
Why her ancestors are like the uncle and the aunt that's always fighting,
Man, and
and like and telling everybody business in
exactly.
their fight.
Yep. Right.
Meanwhile, you just need to get one thing done,
Right.
and
Exactly.
they won't let you talk. That's her problem
Hmm.
in this one. Which this is more comedic than the other ones, though. I would say
Right.
this one is a straight up comedy.
Hmm.
And they the way they do the astral plane in this one, they make it like the DMV
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Yep.
essentially.
Yeah.
But it's your ancestors are supposed to be the ones that help you, supposed to do everything that's supposed to be done for you to get your totem. And the reason why she
Right.
never got hers is because these two individuals right here
Hmm.
were fighting.
Yep.
And those are two of her ancestors, and they are fighting. And one of them wants to be the one to get a totem. The other one don't want. It's a mess.
Because they're like two different sides of it. That's like two different families, right? Or
Yeah,
is it? Okay.
they're the
Okay.
same. It's one of them is the mama side, one of them the daddy side.
Yeah. Okay. I got you.
And yeah, they were acting out. The funny thing about it is, in the beginning of the episode, when she's going to the place to get the ritual done,
Hmm.
her her family, the mom and the dad, they yeah. You see why she
Honestly.
had problems.
Yeah.
You see why.
Yeah.
You're like, I feel for you, girl. God, dog, I feel for you. Like, but the funny thing about it was these two characters, because like they were saying so much funny stuff in the background. It kind of remind you know how like Deadpool, like you have to pay attention to what's said in the background.
Hmm.
Some of the stuff they were saying in the background was hilarious. Talking about like she can't have your totem because your family got a history of heart attacks. I'm like, wait, what? Like what is going on here? Like, so I was sitting there laughing because I play it back, and then they go to like doing like martial arts moves, like they go to doing martial arts poses on each other. Like, really, y'all really, we really doing this? Like, she just needs y'all to put her paperwork in.
Right.
That's literally all she needs y'all to do, and y'all acting up.
Can't take you nowhere.
Can't take you nowhere. So this one was actually that was like I said, that was a straight up comedy. It's a family comedy.
Yeah.
I think everybody probably like this one just because we all got family members like this that we can relate to. I
Hmm.
believe.
Yeah.
I believe we all got
Definitely.
that one aunt and uncle that just they start up and we just shake our head and go on about our business.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So what do you think about this one?
Hey, just another feeling of like the Proud Family when it first came out. You know, it just
Yep.
basically just gave me that. I can relate to this. It's very relatable. I have family like this. I can compare them immediately to, you know, some individuals. So, you know, yeah, definitely a nice break in you know, the seriousness of the first couple of ones. I mean, even though they had some comedy spots in 1 and 2 and stuff, it still just kind of gave us a full comedy type situation. Just like I mean that's us, man.
Yeah.
Like we're funny people.
Yeah.
Like we have like some great moments, especially with old people. Like
Yeah. Yeah. Especially old boy was in the he was in the laundry room
yeah.
trying to get her to, like, bruh. I'm like, bro, what the way they did the afterlife though was actually hilarious in here,
Yeah.
just because the afterlife was both high tech and backwards at the same time.
Right, right, yeah,
How you
yeah.
gonna be in a high tech DMV and still being, you know what? The DMV is the DMV everywhere, I guess.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, but this one is the one that's gonna be like, yeah, if you like the Proud Family, you'll love that, because that's basically what the animation looks like. It's
Mhm.
straight up Proud Family.
Yeah.
Um, and I liked it. It was a nice break, because the first 4 episodes was more on the, I don't want to say full on dark, but it was a little bit on the more serious side of things.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's see. So which one we at now? Okay, so this one is, and I can't say this right. So it's
Yeah, I can't say this.
Mukudzi. Um, this one deals with family,
Hmm.
especially like between parents and kids. Um, like parents having certain, things they want their kids to accomplish, and the kids feel like they can't live up to it or whatnot.
Hmm.
Um, this was, it was a very interesting episode from a story standpoint. Uh, this one is on the CG side of things, and they did a good job of how they married the current with the other dimension in this one,
Right. Okay. Yeah.
because the
Yeah.
other dimension was like basically Wakanda on steroids.
Mm. Yeah. There you go.
That's the only way I can describe it. It
Yeah.
was Wakanda on steroids. You got an influencer, a social media influencer, who he's he's doing his thing, but he thinks that's the only thing he's good at.
Right.
And throughout the episode, you come to realize it's like, dude, you might just want to pick up the phone and answer your dad's call, dude. You don't know what he's gonna say.
Yeah.
Because they'd show the actual phone, and it'd be like 7 missed calls, 8 missed calls. Like, bro, just answer the phone and stop doing
Right.
stupid stuff. Like, just answer the
Right.
phone.
Right.
um, the girl in this, now her story is the story that kind of like was kind of deep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because the thing with this curse, as it is, it's basically a portal to another dimension, and what happens is people fall into it, and it's hard to get back to
Your dimension.
your original dimension, because that portal only opens at certain times.
Yeah.
So at the first beginning of the episode, you see a mother outside praying because she couldn't find her daughter. So she believes her daughter is alive, not
Right.
dead.
Right.
You go to the other dimension and you actually get to see her daughter. Once again, beautiful character design work, by the way.
Hmm.
Um, and the reason why the daughter stayed in that other dimension is because her little brother died, and she didn't know how to tell her mother because she couldn't save him.
Yeah.
Which it that hit deep, because when it comes up, you're like, oh, I I kind of understand. I,
Mhm.
I kind of understand. But it this is I don't know how to explain it. This episode is more of it's not heavy on the action, not really. It's just one more of those like, hey, this stuff you have to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's what I got from it. What about you?
Yeah, yeah. Like you can't run from your problems. You know what I'm saying? Like it's gonna be better if you know, just go confront your problems, say what you gonna say, and you're gonna find out that you're not gonna get banished and all this other stuff. So, but um, yeah, definitely. The animation was definitely still up to par. You know what I mean? The detail in the girl, she has that vitiligo. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? That's something that was represented in this, and I was like, oh, that's wild how they played into it with her style. You know what I mean? So, she did like a almost like dark light type of thing going on with her whole little outfit and stuff. Matter of fact, they're the cover of it. You know what I mean? That episode is the cover of it. So she's the one with the white afro puff,
Yeah,
right there. So
yeah.
that was a
One
good
Afro
detail.
Puff's white, the other one's black.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, I mean, that's definitely like a good touch. Like the message, like you said, it wasn't action based. You have two teens that have things that they were running from and trying to be or do. You know what I'm saying? And they didn't need to. You know what I'm saying? People are going to accept them for who they are and what they do. So yeah, it definitely was like all of these have deep themes, and honestly, when it comes down to storytelling, I gotta give it to Africa, man. We
Yeah,
have some deep roots with that. You know what I mean? So it
yeah.
satisfied the palate.
And this one was a very satisfying ending too. It was a very
Yeah,
satisfying ending.
yeah.
I'm like, okay, this is good. That was a good ending.
Hmm.
Now the next one, Hatima. Uh, this one, this one needs to be longer. Um, that's the first thing I'm gonna say about this
Yeah,
one. This one needs to
yeah,
be longer. This is also Wakanda Forever.
yeah. This is Namor.
Yeah,
This is literally the
basically,
story of Namor.
basically, in not so many words. When you see it, you'll understand what we're talking about.
Yeah.
But I think the thing with this one is, um, and the way they presented the story, they kind of presented in present day and then in flashbacks.
Yeah.
Um, the present day, these aquatic people are getting basically murdered. They're basically getting massacred. Um, and apparently this war's been going on, been raging for centuries. Apparently,
Mhm.
and this character here, he wants to fight. He wants to help because the people from the land they killed their father, and he wants to be a soldier, and he ain't about that life. So they made it abundantly clear that this boy ain't about that life. But
Mhm.
throughout the episode, you when they do the flashbacks and you see what happens, you're like how that entire people got created. You kind of get mad at the people on the land. You
Yeah.
kind of have to
Mhm.
because the reason why those people are like they are is because they were all either sick, had sicknesses or illnesses, or they had ailments, physical ailments and disabilities. Um, the the main character, the main girl, she figures out how to heal herself, thus turning her into basically an Atlantean, basically. And the people on the land just can't deal with it when that was literally them. That's
Mhm.
part of their people. Like, bro, I don't like when you see it. You're like when that whole sequence plays out in the episode where you see what really happened in the past. I'm like, bro, I can't rock with the people on the land for this one.
Right.
I just can't because this is basically like you're angry because your daughter found a way to save herself and some of your other people in your tribe, your village, and you mad about that?
Yeah.
Bro, what the? Okay. Buddy, you wildin'. So,
Right. Right.
and this basically has been going on in the space of the store or the short for like for like centuries.
Yeah.
So you're like, dude, this is crazy. How that and like this one ends, the way this one ends actually made me like, wait a minute, why the credits rolling? Like just how it ended.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it ends with the flashback. The flashback is a recording that the two characters see, and that's how it ends. And you're like, wait, what? No. That's why I said this one needs to be longer. Now this one could be a series. I can see this would be like a 10 episode series or something like that.
Mhm.
So,
Right.
what did you think about this one, Hatima?
Yeah, yeah. Very, very good story telling. Honestly, I took the ending a little differently.
Mm,
I looked at it as like, um, okay, so let's just take something that we have here in America that we don't know how it got to this point. So let's take the gangs or something, all right?
okay.
Let's take let's take um let's take Bloods. Let's take Bloods for instance. Their history is actually very, very interesting. Even the name Blood, where it came from. They fought in basically the Bloods were the African soldiers, African American soldiers in the army during the Vietnam War, and they called themselves this. Saying they made their own fraternity within, the army. It's just like the Hell's Angels. Um, so they made like this whole little like group meant to just meet, bring them together and also too like patrol and help just black people when they get back home and like bond together, when they talk about blood, they're talking about we come from the same blood type thing. So
Yeah.
over time, we know how the LA situation start happening, like then the Bloods, that name got adopted by these neighborhoods that these soldiers were at. And there's more to that, so don't quote me on that. I know my history on gangs. I just don't want to get into that. I'm just trying to prove
Yeah.
a point. Basically, over time it becomes something crazy to the point where you don't know even why you are fighting. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
so that's what this story told. It was a deep story about a culture that got a certain way, and now decades later or centuries later, you have these two people that are at war, and they don't even know why they're at war. They don't even know that they are the same people, that they actually come from the same. And so at the end, when you see the holograms and stuff like that, one of those land soldiers was stuck, was fighting that boy, and accident happened where she got stuck underneath a rock. He had popped the rock open, up from, off of her, trying to show her like, hey, look, we're the same. Well, okay, I'm going too far. Uh,
Mm.
that little hologram thing dropped down from, I think it was a statue of the
Yeah. It
founder of,
was the statue. Yeah.
yeah. So it started showing like the history, the memory and stuff like that. And they were looking at it, and she was pinned down, basically forced, the land, soldier, she was pinned down, basically forced to watch this. And the boy was watching it. And basically they were seeing how they were created, how this even started, learning the history, So towards the end, he looked like he was about to, like he got mad or something, like he was about to, just give it to her. And next thing he didn't. He was on the side of the rock and popped the rock up, freeing her. But basically, they both kind of sat down and started watching these flashbacks, basically learning their history because they've been fighting for years
Yeah.
and they don't know, why they're fighting. So it definitely was a good, deep storyline. Um, the animation was it was decent. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I sometimes don't like that style, but it still it fit well with what they were trying to do. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Just that style. You know what I mean? So yeah, I overall I like that episode. It took me a minute to kind of like process, what was really going on. But once I start, you know, doing my what I just explained right there, then I was like, oh, okay, yeah,
Yeah.
that's nice.
Yeah, because it's kind of like that episode in Visions Volume 2 where it was like with the dance. Where it's like I don't really like this art
Mhm.
style, but this it works for the story they're trying to tell.
Right.
And
Yeah.
I agree with you on that. Like the only thing though, I did kind of want this to go like a little bit longer, just
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
I think the ending is the ending. but I was just like, I wanted more because I'm like, to me, it started getting real good.
Starting getting good, yo.
Yeah. And I'm like, oh snap! Like they from the same, like it's literally they've been fighting so long they don't even know why they mad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure both sides have been lied to by their leaders in charge. And
Yeah.
especially when you see the what happened in the past,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm sitting there looking at the girl's dad, and I'm like, this dude need to be slapped.
Hard.
Like slap, Stone Cold Stun, rock bottom through a table at WrestleMania, something, man. Because
Slap through
like
the ancestral plane real
I
quick in the
know,
back.
like, bruh, look, when he gets to the ancestral plane, the ancestors should be just stomping him out. The way he was acting.
Exactly.
So I mean, it's one of those situations where I'm like, yeah, dude, as the chief or head or whatever, you are the problem. You are not the solution. You are the problem. But yeah, this one gets deep. If any one of them, if any one of these episodes could be taken into like a full series, I think this one, the team will probably be the one that will probably work best, just because of how they set that story up.
Yeah.
Now, Stardust, the next one is Stardust. Now, this is the one I said this is pretty much Clone Wars.
Yeah, Star Wars, Star
Yeah,
Trek,
it's Star Wars
Well,
essentially.
I looked at it as like Bad Batch because that looks like Omega.
Yes, she actually does. I'm like, if you would have gave Omega long hair,
Mm-hmm.
long black hair, yeah,
Yeah, that's Omega.
yeah. Now this one, not my favorite one out of the bunch.
Mm-hmm.
Because it really doesn't pick up until the end, but it does have it has an interesting story,
Mm-hmm.
but I think the execution was a little bit off for me. The main character in this one, she's a stable girl, and they have like in this city they have an oracle that comes out and gives you a scroll that has your destiny on it, like what you're destined to become. And she wants one because she is basically a stable girl, and I don't know if people know this, but when you're working on a farm or anything like that, you some people look down on you,
Right.
just because. And that's basically what happened. And the gist of this story is the Oracle, the guy who does the Oracle, um, she's actually found a way to get to the little platform where they give you the scroll. He gave her a scroll, but there wasn't nothing in it because you weren't supposed to open your scroll till nighttime to get your destiny or whatever. She opens it at nighttime, and there's basically nothing in it. That pissed her off. So she's basically like, okay, well, I'm finna go handle this. So she's gonna go basically steal some so she can have a destiny. During the stealing of during the proliferation of the scrolls, she winds up setting off one of them, which alerts the bandits to where the Oracle is, where the Oracle guy is, which causes the issue, the action of the episode.
Right.
And she, through what happened during that episode, she takes up the mantle and tries to go deliver the star to the place, to the Oracle place, to the Oasis where the scrolls get printed out,
Yeah.
essentially. And it's interesting, but as far as like all the stuff that come before it, it's kind of the weaker one in my opinion,
Right.
from a story perspective,
Mm-hmm.
because it's very much there ain't really nothing really deep about it,
Mm-hmm.
other than like you create your own destiny basically,
Yeah.
and that story's been told like God knows how many times. Um, so although I will say this, I did like how the bandits were like just so bandit. Like you're like, dude, yeah, y'all can't get more generic than this. Y'all really can't. They just really can't get more generic than that. So I like the fact that they were that generic, because I'm like, yeah, y'all finna, and the way they got beat was you saw coming a mile away. But I this one was probably the weaker one to me. What about you? What do you think about this one?
Yeah, I'll agree. It was the weaker one, but definitely I can see what they were trying to do, and I feel like this needed more time
Mm,
to tell that story. Some more elements put in that story. I saw exactly where they was going. It's a generic story as well. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Um, even the fact that she's going to be the apprentice, and she was given that empty scroll on purpose, and he pretty much knew that she was going to be mad and pretty much
Yeah.
like trying to find him and try to steal a destiny and stuff because she was so desperate to get one. So yeah, definitely. Oh, and then the animal,
Oh yeah,
that
the big dragon looking
just
thing. Yeah.
yeah, just classic uh, adventure 3D movie type stuff that we get now these days. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
overall, like if if you're watching this show and you're watching that episode, the first thing you're gonna think is, where in Africa is this? So um, as I was looking at it, I did notice that it will probably be either around Europe or Morocco,
Yeah.
or not Europe, but Egypt or Morocco, just one of those.
Yeah.
Situations and stuff. It wouldn't be in Ethiopia. The
No.
landscape was a little different, but the way the village looked, it looked like Morocco. So basically, to kind of even give us that bit, a lot of people don't look at Moroccans and people that light as African. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I'm glad they were able to, because there's been controversy about this Cleopatra thing that's been on Netflix and stuff like that. That
Oh,
they're
don't get
saying
me
like,
started.
yeah, she's too dark and all this other stuff. And I'm like,
Like,
okay,
okay, all right, whatever, dude.
yeah, like whatever, whatever. She's in Africa, either
Yeah.
she light or dark. She's depicted right because she's African. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
As long as she
but
ain't
I
in
did,
Italy, she's.
yeah, exactly. So I did appreciate just the fact that they are showing all different cultures on this show, and this was just the primary. Even though it's the weaker as far as storytelling,
Yeah.
it still gave a new look at like, oh, people that look like me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah, I like that aspect.
And I will say this: the other thing that it doesn't help that it does look so much like Clone Wars. It just it don't
That's
help.
Omega, man. That is
Yeah, that's what I'm
Omega.
saying. It don't really help because you're like, this is Star Wars. Like
Hmm.
especially when it's
Only
still when
thing
you
she need.
start seeing the blasters and stuff. Yeah, because they use
Oh
blasters.
yeah, yeah.
Like, I was waiting for somebody to pull out a lightsaber. To be honest,
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
I was waiting for that. That didn't happen, but I was waiting for it.
Right.
But yeah, it doesn't help that it looks so much like Clone. I think if they would probably went with a different art style, it probably would have helped it out a little bit more.
Mm, right.
But yeah, yeah, it's yeah. All right, the next one. You give me heart. I actually like this one a lot. I actually
Very
like this
deep
one a lot.
meaning. Very
Now,
deep meaning.
the thing about this one, and I failed to mention it before on purpose. A lot of these stories deal with the Orisha, the African gods
Mhm.
and goddesses. This one flat out doesn't. The other ones
Mhm.
they mention Ogun, they mention Oya, they
Mhm.
mention they don't mention Shango, but you see the there's a couple things where you see a little couple Easter eggs to
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
This one just straight up it does, but
Mm.
it does it in a different way.
Mhm.
The way they do it is in a different way, and it's basically taking a shot at social media.
Yeah.
That's
Yep.
pretty much what it is.
Mhm.
It's taking a shot at social media. The main character's named Sundiata,
Mhm.
and he's trying to basically become social media
A god.
famous,
Mhm.
to be the god of creativity.
Yeah.
And in this world, if you lose followers, pardon the expression, that's your ass.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And so it's a very interesting take on social media, on what somebody would do to become famous, and so how some stuff don't need to be online.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
that's the one. That's the whole the main part of this episode that people need to understand is stop putting your business online.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Please stop putting your business online.
Yep.
There's a
And
certain
just
couple.
know,
There's a certain couple of celebrities that happened a couple days ago. If they would have
yeah,
kept their business offline
yep.
and you live together, just talk to each other when you get home. Don't
Right.
put it online.
Nope.
But that's what I got from this episode. Like
Yeah.
basically,
Yeah.
keep certain stuff needs to be private,
Yeah.
and certain stuff, and like, are you really famous if you're just famous online? Like, are you really famous if you have all these followers that will drop on a dime if they find out what you really look like or how you really are? Because to be fair, people don't know people until you hang around. You don't know somebody until you hang around in real
Huh?
life. Like
Yep.
in real life, like
Hmm.
you you don't know nobody until you actually get to hang around with them and be around them. So
Yeah.
this episode actually, that's the thing that I think they wanted people to understand with this episode. The art style is amazing. It-
Oh,
the,
yeah.
the, the way they do the art style, the way they do the gods, it's amazing. So I like, from a visual perspective, this is probably my favorite one from a visual perspective. Story wise, I just thought it had a very, especially after the week that happened in Black Twitter. Yeah, a lot of people need to watch this episode. They just do. Your thoughts, man?
Yeah, man. Same sentiments, man. I really feel that it was a stab towards social media. Be careful on these filters and how you portray yourself because that's what we are. Put like this. Uh, somebody said, somebody once told me, they said, uh, when you look at McDonald's and they're advertising, burgers, that's what you're going there for, right? When you go to, like a Pizza Hut and they're advertising pizza, that's what they're going there for, right? So don't be mad when that's all they're going there for. So basically, to sum it up, don't be mad if you showing like your tail all the time, right? And you show his skin all the time and
Mm-hmm.
all this other stuff. And these people meet you in real life and they don't see that you're like that in real life. You know what I'm saying? Your followers will go and there's other so you know what I mean? So you definitely gotta be careful. And that's what this message was. But definitely, man, the art style was pretty nice. It was refreshing again. And of course, I think this whole series has been just very, very pleasing to the eyes. You know what I mean? And this didn't shy away from that. So I liked it. I liked it.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know who the because they show the credits at the end, but the writer of this one, they deserve something for this
Mhm.
because the way they did it, the way they told the story, it was like, bruh, I understand, I completely understand this. This is like easy to understand. Like they don't beat you over the head with anything. They just tell the story and like you get it. You
Mhm.
you you get
Yeah.
it because most of us that have been like seeing what's been happening on since the boom of social media, you're like, yeah, man. Sometimes y'all need to keep some stuff for yourself.
Yep.
And then you got people who get mad. Like, just for an example, you have people who sit and say, okay, uh, if somebody tells, like, relationships, for example, if somebody was like, okay, these are my boundaries or whatever, you got some people who sit up and be like, you're insecure, you're jealous, all this stuff. But if somebody else says the exact same thing and it's because they like this person more, they'll
Oh,
be
you speaking
completely
facts.
accept. They'll be completely accepting of it. Like, yes, that's right. You should have standards. You should lower your standards. But you just told this other person that they jealous and insecure for having standards and boundaries. Like, it don't.
Man.
It's yeah. So certain stuff, just keep to yourself, man. And that's the whole point of this. And at the end of the episode, I love the fact that they tore the whole thing down, and you
Oh
got to see
yeah.
people as they really
Yeah.
are.
Hmm. I wonder
Which,
what would happen when Twitter and Instagram go down.
well, the way Elon and Zuckerberg acting, that's gonna be in a couple months. The way they acting, uh,
Right.
they These billionaires, boy, they be wilding.
Hey, they about to make a whole bunch of broke beats.
Yeah, they are. Now this last one in kind. Now this one is the one that kind of like, okay, this is kind of this really
It
deep
yeah, yeah. It actually scared me.
because how close to home it hits.
Even that, it scared the mess out of it. If I understood the message right, this scared the living crap out of me.
All right, so your thoughts?
So, my thoughts, I interpreted that, of course, uh, there were some gods. They made the world, and there were some protectors that were supposed to, you know, uh,
Overlook and oversee.
overlook it, oversee it, and us as Earthlings over time, we destroyed ourselves before. You know what I mean? And the old world got destroyed from greed because you saw that big old giant machine that was sucking up all that energy from the stuff. So basically, uh, it was his daughter and mom. They're protectors and stuff. One was the daughter was like a real little girl. She was trying to learn the chops of being a goddess or whatever, a protector or whatever, and learn how to create. And her mom was in protection mode. I guess she was a protector of the world that was built, and some stuff was going down. We were tearing it up, and we were killing the gods. You know what I mean? We were
Yeah,
killing Mother Nature. At that, I kind of looked at her as Mother Nature. You know what I mean? So,
yeah,
um, and so, and the result of this, the mom was getting towed up, and the daughter was like, "I can save them. I can save my mom. I can do this and the third because." Uh, things were going down. So she pretty much did some old stuff, had to go outside, and her mom instructing her not to because it's dangerous out there. And she kept going outside to get stuff and making this creation, this potion and stuff. And pretty much when that old world was pretty much sucked dry, she had to get her mom like out of there. So she was able to get her out of there. Her mom noticed that she got bigger because she actually grew. Every time she'll go out that door, she'll grow up, right? And
mhm,
so she actually grew. But she finally got the little antidote. She did a little magic. They went into a portal, went to the new world, and pretty much looked back at Earth and the old world and was like, the mom was like, we can save them. And then she was like, they'll be all right. They did it to themselves. We're about to tend to our new creation. Look what I did. So then she did a little dance and everything came alive. And so now they got a new world. And that scared the mess out of me because at times, we think right now we're in that mode
mhm.
of, we're destroying the world or it's about to be done. Like we're about to blow it up. And what about, our ancestors, our gods? And I mean, if you believe in that, type of stuff, or if you're, religious or anything like that, sometimes, in religion you think like the gods don't exist or they left us. So in this particular story, it showed like the gods leaving and creating something new because we didn't tow up our planet. So we don't know how to act. So we're going to have to live with the consequences. So we're alone. So
Yeah,
that's what that gave me, and the visuals were holy. Like it just made me feel like it looked like she had stars in her, like the glitter on her. It looked like she had
mhm,
stars in her skin, and it reminded me of other beings that I've heard about and deities and stuff like that. So it actually reminded me a lot about like certain depictions of Oya, things of that nature.
yeah,
So
yeah.
that's what I kind of took out of it. I don't know what her mom name was, but I would assume it was
They never said
Oya.
it, but I assumed it was either Oya or Gaia or something like that.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
I, I would assume that.
yeah.
I agree with you. I took it, especially because it was a corporation that was doing it,
Hmm.
and the mother was trying her best to do her duty, basically.
Yeah. Hmm.
And the more the episode went on, you're like, can people not see what they doing? And they do have a part where there's a dude who comes in and he just don't care.
Oh, yeah,
He
yeah.
just don't care. So I was sitting there thinking, and like the end of it, I'm like, when Enkai basically just says, like, "Ma, they did it to themselves. Like, the only way I can save you is by doing this, by making a new world."
Mhm.
Because she was straight up dying. She had turned,
Dying.
like, her mother had went from being vibrant to straight up gray.
Hmm.
And as soon as she took it to the new world and she did her dance and made everything come alive, her mother's power came back, her
Yep.
strength came back, and I'm like, yeah, uh, if that don't, if the last two episodes of this don't tell you something,
Exactly.
like,
Exactly. Matter of
like,
fact, they
bruh,
go hand in hand. If you actually look at it, they actually go hand in hand. It's almost like it mirrors each other. Even though we look at them as different episodes, they're actually about the same message. Like this is crazy.
yeah, from different points of view,
Yep.
and I Ankai was just one of those ones where it was bittersweet
Yeah.
because yeah, basically the world was destroyed. The world we destroyed the world, but there was hope with the new world that was created that maybe you know the next time around people act right.
Mhm.
That was the bittersweetness of that
Did you also
episode.
too notice a theme to it too? Like when she was gathering stuff, and then when we went to the new world, uh, it reminded me of Noah's Ark.
Yeah,
Like she's gathering things and stuff like that. So that's
because she was
if
trying to
I
figure it
was
out. Yeah,
yeah. If I was like an advanced species, yeah, I'll be grabbing stuff from Earth, grab a little bit of this, and the third. We about to go this way. Yeah, y'all go ahead and blow up over there.
yeah.
We'll holler at you.
Because like I said, like this one was just like these last two was like they. If you can't figure out what they was talking about, you need to go back to school for your reading comprehension. I don't know what to tell you because
Right.
they just flat out told you what it was. Like, look, with Hatima and Mukuzi, you kind of had to figure it out.
Yeah.
This two, you ain't got to figure it out.
Nah. Clear as day.
Yeah,
Clear.
you do not have to figure this out. So,
Mm.
yeah, yeah, I have to say, like, dude, especially Inkai, this was just it was sad and
Yeah.
hopeful. But the thing
Yeah.
was, by the end, it was hopeful. Like I said, it was a
Yeah.
bittersweet ending, but by the end, it was hopeful.
Right.
And I was glad they put that in there and didn't make it completely dark,
Yeah. Yeah.
which I thought they was gonna do because there was a point in there I was like, oh, they finna do what I think they finna do.
Man, I thought it was
Yeah,
over with.
especially when that dude showed up in that van with the gas
Man.
mask on. I'm like, they were basically draining the lifeblood away from Earth,
Yeah.
and her mother was the lifeblood.
Yep.
That's why I was like, why she keep holding her stomach? And then you saw, I like how they made the machines look like mosquitoes.
Oh man. Yes. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
did like that. I like the way they made the machines actually look like giant mosquitoes that were just
Yeah.
sucking up the energy and just flying off. So
Hmm.
yeah, overall though, 10 episodes, they were all like 15 minutes apiece, except for Stardust was like 17. Most of them 15 episodes apiece, 15 minutes apiece. Overall, I thought they did a great job. This one should get a volume two.
Oh yeah. Definitely.
This should get a
Definitely.
volume two. I'm actually interested in seeing more stuff.
Yeah.
I liked it. I like most of them overall. Overall, I think, like I said, the weakest one. I hated it. I hate that was the weakest one with Stardust. But to me, it was just like, dude, it. I think if it would have went with a different art style, I probably would like it a little bit more. But I was just like, the whole while, I'm like, this is Bad Batch. This is Clone Wars.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. I feel the same.
Yeah.
Feel the same, man. That's that
It's
was the
kind of
weakest one.
sad, but I'm like, I'm sorry, man. Y'all did it to yourself.
Exactly. Exactly.
So, but yeah, the art styles vary from episode to episode. The themes get really good. Like there's a couple of them in here. It get dark. Like the team gets dark. The surfer one gets dark. But I think overall they did a good job with telling their stories and presenting their stories.
Hmm. Yeah.
I don't know what kind of awards they should get, but this one should get an award for something.
Something.
because
NAACP or
something like,
something.
I mean, they should get something
Humanity
because
Award or something.
these creators did a very good job on
Yeah,
these 10 episodes. They really did. I would love to see Hatima go into like get like a few more episodes.
yeah.
I could even you give me heart. I wouldn't mind seeing a few more episodes of that. To be honest,
Oh yeah, yeah,
I
definitely,
wouldn't
definitely.
mind it. But yeah, or the or the Proud Family one.
Hey
I'm
man,
sorry, like
all of them can have like a season or two. Matter of
yeah,
fact, I'm actually about to, I think without after I watched this whole stuff, I was like, okay, I'm trying to look at the studios, like what do they have out that's
yeah.
similar to this? Because I know they have something that's already in rotation that's being played somewhere. So,
I mean, because
uh,
as good as these are, they this ain't no first time people. Nah,
nah, they've
nah.
been doing this for decades.
Yeah,
Like
this
that's
ain't no first time. As clean as this is, this ain't no first time studios doing this. I
right.
can't believe that.
Yeah,
I can't believe that. But yeah, overall, I can't recommend this enough.
yeah,
Especially I'm just gonna say, especially if you're black,
yeah,
you need to watch it. That is required viewing.
yeah. Honestly, this will be the equivalent to how we grew up. You know what I'm saying? Like we couldn't get Black History in school.
Yep,
The only Black History we got in school was the slavery and the civil
and Martin
rights.
Luther King.
Yeah,
That's it.
and then we didn't get stories like this until we go to church or other woke little places. You know what I'm saying? Or little black whatever,
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So, we had like in Kalamazoo, man, we had something called the Black Arts Festival, and you actually learn a little more about like African culture around that time. You have the woke community there, you'll have like the 5%ers, you'll have Israelites, you'll have the Muslims, you'll have Christians, things that everybody from different walks of life there to teach you things. So, you know what I'm saying? Like this right here will be our like the kids now. This will be us giving that to y'all. So this
yeah,
I will recommend any parent, please, just watch this. It's something for you and your child.
yeah.
You know.
And as an adult, you will enjoy this, especially first world problems. You will enjoy this a lot if you, especially if you black and you got family, you got a
Yeah,
large family. You are gonna enjoy that.
yeah,
Um,
definitely, definitely.
yeah. So, but yeah, I it's one of those ones that I cannot uh recommend this enough. I just can't. This is good. Everybody can watch it. They don't beat you over the head with stuff. They just tell you
Yeah,
do with that what you will. So uh overall, I would love to see more of this in the
part two.
future.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah,
definitely.
please do a value two of this, and
3 and 4 too.
yeah, just keep it going because this is actually yeah this is actually very needed. Like most of the
Right on
stuff that I
point.
learned, I learned on my own through my own reading and stuff like that.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah,
um, because I've been doing a lot of research these past years, just because I've been more and more fascinated with
yeah,
learning different, African cultures and stuff like that. And the more you read, the more you learn, the more you know. So,
yeah.
yeah, y'all check it out when you have a chance. So Vito, anything you want to pimp out before we get out of here?
Yeah. We did a live stream last night. It got interrupted, so I wasn't able to actually finish it the way we were doing it, man. And there was some technical difficulties happening from the jump. So if you watch that, just know there was a lot of frustration built up behind that. But I did end up jumping back on to finish the one that I wanted to show you guys or basically react to, and that's that One Love trailer. So if you
Mm,
haven't, go over my channel and watch those. I released my Veto variants. I'm back to my normal format. I did that Thursday. I'm back to the me talking and you don't really see my visuals and stuff like that. But I covered The Last of Us 3. Is there going to be a Last of Us 3?
oh God.
Um, and then you already know.
Yeah, I know. Got to get that money, man. It's still the same. Ain't nothing changed. And as soon as that one release, we're gonna release one and two in a remastered format.
Right.
Like, wait, what? Again? Yes, again.
So I did that one, man, and before then I had my Secret Invasion review or recap or whatever. So definitely, if you get a chance, check out that, and then the Sandstorm, the Stormcast. I don't know when we're gonna have a next one. We're not having one this week. Of course, that's tonight. Um, we might have one next week, but we have to see what's going on. What's going on there? So just stay tuned to the like if you're following us on Twitter, you know what I'm saying, just stay tuned. We'll make those announcements for that. And of course, thank you, Jay, for having me on here. But Winging It Podcast, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to y'all. I was on my first one, what was that, last 2 weeks ago or
Yeah, 2
something?
weeks ago. 2 weeks ago,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I totally meant to give you the thanks and praise on that one. That definitely was pretty cool, man. That was my first time on there. So
Glad you enjoyed
but
yourself.
oh yeah, oh yeah. Other than that, man, that's all I got on my end.
All right. So, if you watched the channel last night, I did a live stream of the first 2 hours, the opening of Legend of the Heroes: Trails into Reverie. Check that out when you get a chance. Don't forget, we do have Fresh Take tomorrow with me and Vicky. Going to be doing our weekly review of Secret Invasion. Boy, I'm loving the spy stuff in this, dude. The spy stuff is, yeah. I was wondering how they were going to do the Secret Invasion. They're doing a good job with it. I know they
They're
can't
doing
do
good.
what they did in the comic, but they're doing a
Mm.
damn good job with what they're doing.
Yeah.
So with what they got to work with, they're doing a damn good
Oh
job.
yeah, for sure.
And we do have the Winging It podcast tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I will say this: I had a plan for episode 150 of the Winging It podcast, but that kind of fell through because I got a bad case of writer's block. So we are going to be doing a Q&A. We're going to be doing a Q&A in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
But I will let everybody know how to submit questions because Elon Musk tripping. So we're probably going to be using Discord, but I will let you guys know tomorrow for that episode. We're probably not going to be using Twitter like we did last time just because, yeah, Elon. Yeah, whatever, dude. So, yeah. Leave us a comment. Let us know what you guys thought about Kizazi Moto. If you haven't had a chance to watch all of them, and would you want to see more? Please leave a comment. Don't forget, like, share, subscribe, all the other good stuff. We will catch you guys on the next one. Peace out, people.
Peace.